Gonna be all over the road on this video, just all over the place. I mean, we're gonna be talking cars and drum machines, but I'll try not to get too technical, I promise. Song number 25 on this fancy playlist, June 4th, 1984. She's Got Legs by CC Top from Eliminator. And let's talk about that iconic song of the 80s, iconic video, iconic car, that lovely red coupe, that Eliminator. And Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons has this car, 1933 coupe. He had it customized by Don Teelan. Don Teelan's Buffalo Motor Cars, and boy, they pimped it up big time. If you're an auto mechanic or if you're into cars, you're gonna love this. The car comes with a 350. It came with a 350 CID Chevy V8 engine, Camaro C28, hydraulic cam, intake manifold, with a single 4-barrel carburetor, and it was a polished intake manifold. Turbo 350 transmission. Boy, this car, well, you probably understand these technical details better than I do, but that sure sounds like a kick-ass car right there. One surprising thing I found out about this video, I think CC Top was 3 guys, I believe. Two of them were credited on making the song, but actually, it looks like for the most part it was Billy Gibbons, group member Billy Gibbons, and an audio engineer, tracking engineer, big time, Terry Manning, developed this record, although the synthesizer was credited to a guy named Lyndon Hudson. He was the one who came up with that oscillating synthesizer, which is featured more prominently in the single, the remix single, as opposed to the album version. You got a little bit of that, well, what I called high-tech disco, high-tech dance music baked into that Texas boogie. Classic Texas boogie, a little bit of blues in there too as well, squalling guitars. And Terry Manning, now you might not have heard of Terry Manning, but this guy's big. Big beans. Terry Manning, he's worked with Molly Hatchet, Fabulous Thunderbirds, Joe Cocker. Oh gosh, he's worked with George Thorogood. Worked with George Thorogood. Back in the 60s and early 70s, Terry Manning, he was an engineer, a producer at the legendary Stax Records in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Al Bell, the owner of Stax, he assembled this production team. Terry Manning was a prominent member of this production team, and the staple singers, Respect Yourself, uh, I'll Take You There, and Heavy Makes You Happy. Oh, one of my favorite songs, spring of 1971, Heavy Makes You Happy by the Staple Singers. Terry Manning worked on those records along with the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, the Memphis Horns. Well, very talented. This guy, very talented. And he worked on this record. I don't know if I should get into this. I found some information where Terry Manning did a question and answer on a website. Apparently, he played the drums on this record. Terry Manning did. He used a drum machine. And one of the drum machines that he used was the Oberheim. I believe it was the Oberheim DMX drum machine, which was used on a lot of those hip-hop records back in the early days of hip-hop. And for the snare drums, or the snare sampling, he used a device called the AMX, the AMS DMX. I think he's talking about, I think they were talking about the AMX DMX 1580. That had a microprocessor, one of those early electronic machines, music machines that had a microprocessor developed in 1978. He might have used that. Well, bottom line is this: he used drum machines on this record, and according to him, the song was recorded in the attic. Was recorded in his attic, and Billy Gibbons, his vocals and his guitar part was recorded in the studio. But I'm sure there's a lot more to this story than that. I'm just giving you the gist, just the broad brush. The technical details are mind-numbing. But if you're a studio maven or you're really into the studio stuff, you'd love this. But I can't get into it. The song did well. Legs did very well. Went top 10 here in the States. Hot rotation everywhere. FM stations, night tracks. Top 10, I believe, in Australia, New Zealand. Top 20 in England. She's got legs. And by the way, something else I want to mention about Terry Manning. I'd love this. If you're into the 60s rock and roll, well, in 2013, Terry Manning, the audio engineer who worked on this record, Legs, he released an album called West Texas Skyline, which was a tribute to the Bob Fuller Four. Yes, Bob Fuller Four. Boy, they came up with some fun records. I Fought the Law, and the Law won back in 1966, and Let Her Dance. They did another song called Let Her Dance. Well, he did a song that was a tribute. I mean, did an album that was a tribute to the Bob Fuller Four. So I really enjoyed that. Now, is there anything else I need to add? I think I talked about the drum machines. I talked about the Eliminator engines. And well, we got ourselves a hit record. It's moving up. Well, it's not moving up on this particular week, but it will be moving up big time. CC Top with Legs at number 25 on my fantasy playlist, June 4th, 1984.